Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the Treasures of Life show, and my name is Jonah Simba. I wish I could know your name, where you are. Feel relaxed. Listen to the show today. I'm talking about youth and strength. Did I just say that? Wow. This show is coming to you from Nairobi, Kenya. Just in case you're watching this from far away, Karibu Sana. In Kenya, we say Karibu Sana, that is welcome. Youth and strength. There is a lot about the youth in Kenya. By the way, my sign language interpreter is Wanjangete. And just in case you want to know my name again, Jonah Simba. Someone asked me for the line, the line that you can give your views on, 011980384. Did you get that? 011980384. Give your views there. Yeah, on the topic today, youth and strength. You see, the Treasures of Life show is your home of energy. Right here, we encourage one another. We give each other strength. There are different types of strength, by the way. Yeah? I always say tough times will not last, but tough people will last. Yes. Those of you who read books, you've heard of Robert Schuller. Robert Schuller is one very good writer, a preacher, a motivational speaker. He spoke about tough times never last, but tough people do. I have a reason as to why I've chosen this topic today on youth and strength, because I'm bringing this show from Kenya. I'm bringing this show from East Africa. I'm bringing this show from Africa. There is a lot going on right now in Africa, in the region of East Africa, and in Kenya in particular, about the youth. We need the brains to guide these youths, because many of them, all over the continent are looking for who can lead them, who can guide them, who can direct them to that place of prosperity, that place of fruitfulness and productivity. So just before I proceed, let me point out to you that there is a lot of strength amongst the youth, but this strength can be useless without the proper brains to guide the strength. Without brains, without proper leadership, without a good cover over this strength, we will be in trouble. Not just as a continent, not just as a region, not just as a country, but as the world. When there is so much strength that is not guided, what happens? That is danger. Think of electricity. Think of a place of so much energy without a way of tapping on the energy. What happens? First of all, there is wastage, a lot of wastage. Then there is distraction. One thing about where I come from, that is Nairobi, Kenya, and this country, the youth are very innovative, very much innovative, full of invention. You cannot say that the youth of my country are not intelligent. You cannot say that they are not quote unquote clever. You cannot say that they are not wise. You cannot say that they are not knowledgeable. They are endowed with all these characteristics. And I know that this is very much the picture of the youth all across the world, all over every nation. The youth are innovative, they are strong, They are full of, endowed with wisdom. Sometimes I am baffled when I listen to the youth talk. So much wisdom. But one thing about the youth of these times which we are living in, with all the strength, without proper guidance, without proper leadership, without proper direction, that strength will be useless. That is, I don't like using the word useless. I rarely use it here because I keep saying no one is useless. But a strength can be useless because it can be wasted and it can be misguided. It can be taken to the place of being destructive rather than productive. Again, I say, without brains, the strength is useless. So if you want to destroy the youth of a populace, don't go for the youth. Just go for those that lead the youth. Go for those that govern them. What am I saying now? I'm saying it is time for us to go back to our research rooms. How is it that we can tap on the energy of the youth, tap on the resourcefulness of the youth, guide them? Just in case you're religious, let me ask you a question. Where is our pastoral, quote unquote, prophetic, quote unquote, maybe you're a Muslim, where is it that we can get that religious guidance? Where is our spiritual cover? That is a point to begin, because strength comes from all facets. There is physical strength, there is emotional strength. We address a lot of it here at the Treasures of Life show. There is social strength. Yes, there is financial strength. All these areas are very important. Yeah? And then there is spiritual strength. But then when I speak about emotional and spiritual strength, I'm talking about the strength of the soul. That is what I want to talk about today, because the soul and the spirit are connected. We need a youth that is strong on the inside, emotionally strong, very strong in spirit. Yes? Because when you are strong in the soul, when you are strong in the spirit, then you are a stable person. A youth that is stable is not a youth that can move in destructive emotions. Yes? It is time for us to address the emotional strength of our youth, because the times we are living in, there is a lot of adversity, a lot of lack, a lot of economic turmoil, a lot of challenges across the world. Emotional strength for our youth is very key. Just in case you're listening to me, the youth of this country, Kenya, and the youth of East Africa, and the youth of Africa, oh yes, the youth of all the nations of the world, just in case you're listening to me, emotional strength is key for you. Anything that causes you to be unstable emotionally should be addressed. You need all types of covers, leadership covers. Don't be a generation without spiritual cover, without governance cover. You know, if I would speak in Swahili, I would say, heshimu baba na mama, heshimu viongozi, maana hao ndio kivuli chetu. That means they are our cover. A nation or a youth without that cover is a very vulnerable youth. Our strength is derived from our fathers and our mothers, is derived from, the lineages that we come from. Even though there is a lot of evil, things to be changed from where we come from, just for the sake of us being the bridge to the future, where we come from is important. So what do? You respect where you come from. That is how you start to be emotionally stable, Get an identity. A youth without an identity is a youth in identity crisis. Very important for our leaders to listen to this, for our fathers and mothers to listen to this. Give our youth a sense of identity. Tell them they are Kenyans. Tell them they are East Africans. Tell them they are Africans. Give them a sense of belonging. That gives emotional strength. Stability of the emotion sometimes steps very deep on the inside. Yes? When somebody knows that they have a sense of belonging, that is a very good starting point. They start giving back. Just listen to this. Imagine yourself as a mother and you have a daughter. You always take your daughter like a child. You never involve her in anything. They will not feel like they belong to that family so much as when you give them that ability. You know, you start capacity building them, making them feel like they're supposed to input to the day-to-day lives of that family. Now, as a mother, you start involving your daughter in a few errands in the house. You start making them feel like when they are around, the home is okay, despite their age. They may be below 18 years, but you start telling, hey, I know you're around, things are okay. You start asking them questions. Is this okay? Is that okay? You start involving them in decision making. Suddenly, they start feeling part and parcel of that home. It is the same with boys, the boy child. The moment you start making them feel like, hey, you are not just, giving them solutions or providing things that for them. You start asking them about the home. What can we do about this, this and this and this? Let me find your view about, a certain issue in the home. So you will realize that when you start challenging their minds to input, to give views for the home, they suddenly start feeling part and parcel of the home. But when you make them feel like their views are not important, you don't ask them what needs to be done here and there, they feel like babies. Then they don't input so much in the home. Suddenly, they start looking for heroes outside, guidance outside. They just start, thinking of daddy and mommy as not giving them opportunity to share their potential in that home. The beginning point of capacity building is involving your sons and daughters in the issues of the home. Very much so in a country, very much so in a region and a continent. The moment we start building these organizations of our youth, empowering them, listening to them, then we start tapping on their strength. Our youth are strong, but they need brains. Did I just say that correctly? They have not been where the fathers and mothers have been. They have not been where the leaders have been, where their sheikhs, their religious leaders, their pastorates, where their CEOs and their managers have been. They need that so desperately. You may not realize it. They may not have a platform to ask for it. But you can start involving them by empowering them within your organizations. If you have a religious institution, for example, a church, you start deliberately, building the capacity of the youth department, empowering that department, listening to that department. Then you start tapping on their strength. I'm talking about youth and strength today. There is so much strength amongst the youth. Somebody needs to find that art of tapping on that strength, because it takes brains, it takes wisdom to tap on energy. Who is it that can tame electricity? There is so much strength in electricity. Who is it that can tame the strength of the seas? There is so much strength in the seas. You know, the strength of an ox may be useless when it meets a lion, because the lion understands it may be smaller in size than the elephant, but it's in the mind. It is time for us to start guiding. It is time for us to start refocusing on mentorship. With that, let me go for a break. This is the Treasures of Life show. I'm talking about youth and strength. See you after the break.